Welcome back to the Family Beatdown Fantasy Football League update show. This is week number 4. What a week in the NFL, you know. I don't know about you guys, but my blood pressure started to boil a little bit last night. You know, I've been saying all along, it's all fun and games until your team loses a game, as far as these replacement refs are concerned. You know, it's been a mild, from my perspective, it's been a mild annoyance all season long, but last night, if you didn't see the game, I'm sure you've heard about it by now. My beloved Packers, you can see my stock certificate. I love this team. My beloved Packers came up, were robbed. Let's just put it that way. They were robbed in Seattle. Instead of sleepless in Seattle, it was robbed in Seattle. Enough of that. At any rate, looking at our Notre Dame USC matchup coming up on November 24th. What a week for Notre Dame. Another big win for Michigan. Watch that game. Was toggling back and forth between that game and the USC game on a regional sports network out here. They were both colliding at the same time, but saw a good portion of the end of the Notre Dame game, and you guys are looking strong. You move up to number 10. You have the week off before you play next weekend, the first weekend in October. You guys go to Chicago for the Shamrock Series. The Shamrock Series. I wonder if everybody gets a nice green milkshake. But the Shamrock Series, as you guys know, is with Miami. And so that's coming up. So you guys are undefeated, sitting at number 10, and you've got your Shamrock Series coming up. On the USC side, USC survived against Cal. That's about all you can say. They did not look sharp, but they got the win. They moved to 3-1. They still sit number 13 in the rankings, so you know, no movement, but they're, you know, didn't fall. USC has the bye week as well. Then they travel out to Utah to give Utah a lesson in football. It should be a good game. I mean, Utah is tougher than what I'm making them out. At any rate, let's get to fantasy football. Looking at our standings, Mud Dogs, Rick Menser, and Decepticons, Jed Derone still undefeated at 3-0, leading the Cardinal division. Blue and Gold and Blood, Sweat, and Beer and Mighty Mullets in the thick of it at 1-2. But all those guys would be on the outside looking in as far as playoffs. Not too early to start thinking about the playoffs. In the Gold division, smell this, vaults to the top with a 2-1 record, but Rednecks 2-1, Invincibles 2-1. Smell this, gets the top ranking by virtue of the points 4. In my picks last week, I did pretty good. I went 5-1. 5-1 in my picks last week. I now stand 12-6 on the year. Taking a look at the Week 3 recap real quick here. Smell this. Beat Bear 6. Bear 6 got a great day from CJ Spiller, but not a great day from LaRod Stevens howling. Sounds like he might write children's books. Negative 1.4. 22.3 from Romo, but Larry Fitzgerald came through. I got to tell you, your day with CJ Spiller is done, Michael. Fred, what's his name? Fred Jackson is back. He's back. Robert Griffin gave me 40, but my big news was AJ Green, who gave me 30. On Mama Fort Bolden's over Mighty Mullets. Mullets really put it on. Mama Fort Bolden having a hard time scoring points, even though Ray Rice gave her 26. Michael Vick only 20. Excuse me, that's the Mighty Mullets. Looking at Veronica's side, Rivers only 13. Oh my goodness. Her other big man was Martellus Bennett with 13. And then 10 from that New York Jets defense. Mullets, as I said, 20 from Vic. Not a great day on the Mullet side, but enough for the win. Invincibles improves their record to 2-1 over Show Me Them TDs. Grandpa had to go into Monday night with Aaron Rodgers, and even so, it wasn't that much of a cakewalk for Grandpa. He wins by a very slim margin, 5 points, as Rodgers only put up 24. Mud Dogs remains perfect over Blue and Gold. Blue and Gold's got fishing on his mind. But Mud Dogs remains perfect. Drew Brees, 39. Alfred Morris. What a dig there. Alfred Morris. Sounds like a great uncle I once knew. For the Mud Dogs, put up 13 points. Got to check him out. Alfred Morris. Blue and Gold, 1-2, put up 142. Rednecks beat the B-Hole Wreckers. Rednecks getting into stride. It's a tough team, as I've said. Cam Newton with 24, 22 for Nate Washington. B-Hole Wreckers, 43.9 for Matty Ice, and 29.7 for Torrey Smith. And talk about a gutsy play. You get everybody hear that story about Torrey Smith on, what was it, Sunday night. His brother had gotten killed the day before, and he was out there playing in grief, and the boy put up an incredible night with 2 touchdowns and tons of yards to go with him. And then Decepticons beat Blood, Sweat, and Beer. Blood, Sweat, and Beer off to a good start initially, but it's dropped 2 in a row. Decepticons 3-0. Tom Brady with 45. Tony Gonzalez with 15 for the Decepticons. Blood, Sweat, and Beer led by Matthew Stafford, who did not finish the game. You might want to pay attention to that, Danny. 22.5 from Run DMC. Something to tell you about. We've got bye weeks this week. We've got bye weeks starting this week. The Colts and the Steelers are on bye this week. And on Thursday, the Thursday night game has Cleveland and Baltimore. Cleveland at Baltimore. So adjust your schedules accordingly. The Colts and the Steelers on bye. Cleveland and Baltimore playing on Thursday night. Take a look at next week. Right. Internet connection. Come on, internet connection. Keep up with me. What are you going to do? All right, week 4. Decepticons play Rednecks. Let's start there. So Jed, as we said, is 3-0. Right now, he's projected to win this 128-112. Mike Wallace is on bye. Pay attention to that. Dawn. Cam Newton plays against Atlanta. Reggie Bush against Arizona. Decepticons got Brady against Buffalo. It could be a good matchup. I don't know how good Buffalo's defense is, but their offense puts up points. Marshawn Lynch against St. Louis. He's going to go nuts. Green Bay defense against New Orleans. New Orleans is going to put up a ton of points, but I think Green Bay will cover. I'm going to give my nod, though, to the snap. I'm not going to do it. Can you see what I did there? You see what I did there? Going with the Rednecks because we're going to put that mojo on those unbeaten teams. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of the unbeaten teams. Smell of this versus Mama of Fort Bolden's. This is the Packers versus the Giants, the NFC title game. Mama of Fort Bolden's limping out of the gates at 0-3. Donnie Avery on bye. Phillip Rivers against Kansas City. Could be a good matchup there. But right now, projected for only 100 points on the Veronica side. Smell this after the convincing win this past weekend. RG3 against Tampa Bay. They're always tough. Calvin Johnson against Minnesota. That's tough. I'm not liking my defensive lineups. Michael LaShore is now on Smell This. Kevin Smith went bye-bye. Michael LaShore is back in the starting role in Denver, or Detroit. 133 to 100 is what Yahoo says. Smell This is going to get the pick. Looking at Girard Invincibles versus the Mud Dogs. Rick is going to lose because he's a 3-0 team. But let's just be honest for a second. Drew Brees against the Green Bay Packers. This is how disrespected the Green Bay Packers defense is. Drew Brees is projected to put up 54 points. You know, y'all never projects anything like that. 54 points. That's a whole different scoring system. Unreal. Rick is projected to put up 147.76. Grandpa 146.72. Just as I say that, Aaron Rodgers. So we've got this game pits the 2 quarterbacks facing each other, Brees versus Rodgers. Rodgers is projected to do 60.19. Oh man. Sean Green with 10. Percy Harvin with 11. One of the things Grandpa has to do is he's got to get Jamal Charles into that starting lineup. Jamal Charles finally shaking off the effects of that injury. I am going to go with Grandpa on this one, not only because of the let's knock off the unbeatens, but because I really think Grandpa's got a good shot here. Mighty Mullets versus B-Hole Wreckers. This is Alex versus Tyson, and this is a 1-2 team versus a 1-2 team. Opportunity for these boys to separate a little bit. On paper, it looks like it's 137 to 112 in B-Hole's favor. Matt Ryan against Carolina Panthers. Rob Gronkowski is expected to get 14 points. Doug Martin from Tampa Bay, 15. Tyson needs to cover for Antonio Brown, who's on bye. Mike Vicks against New York Giants. That's tough defense to face. I'm going to go with B-Hole Wreckers on this one. We talked about Rednecks and Decepticons already. Let's make sure that my pick had been submitted. And you guys, go ahead and make these picks yourself. Yahoo will keep automatic tally. Anybody wants to do a little side bets on the picks. As far as percentage, I'm ahead of everybody with total picks, but in percentage, I'd be down for a little side action. In our final game of the week, Blood, Sweat, and Beer. These are our two new owners, Blood, Sweat, and Beer versus Show Me Them TVs. This is Danny versus Rebecca. These are two 1-2 teams fighting for their next win. On paper, it's 137-113, pretty heavy-handed in favor of Danny. Matt Stafford against Minnesota. That's going to be an interesting game. But Darren McFadden against Denver, at Denver. Stevan Ridley at Buffalo for Danny. Eli, little brother Eli against Philly. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to that. I got him in my other fantasy league. Willis McGahee with 11.8. Andre Brown with 10.7. I think it looks as though it's going to go in Danny's favor. I'm giving my pick to Blood, Sweat, and Beer. Okay, one more time to remind you folks that are still with us. Bye weeks next week start. Colts and Steelers. And then Thursday night game is Cleveland versus Baltimore. Get your lineup set. Have a great week. And let's hope those referees get back to work. So long, everybody.